Hey everybody, it's Brick Waffle again. We are back on the WaffleMods server, and today we have a few things that we want to take a look at. You can see that we did fight the Wither on our checklist here. I wanted to do a recording of that, but I was having a little bit of trouble with the server. It was being pretty laggy, so I patched the server it was running on, restarted everything, ran Opus, cleared up a bunch of lag. It turns out that Sakala's chicken farm had just gotten out of control. I think because when we installed Gannies, we forgot to include the filter for poop for chickens. And so having the vanilla style automatic chicken farm was just leaving a tremendous amount of poop everywhere from Gannies, which is kind of a hysterical problem to have. But today what we did want to do is, let's go back into this mode. We want to go back and work on digging out some of the sub-levels a little bit. And I'm going to start with that so we can chat a little bit about what's going on the channel. So here we've just kind of got a rough shape, and I'm going to keep digging here. It's pretty mindless, but I want to do this for a few minutes and talk about what's going on. So you may have noticed, if you've been watching my channel a lot, that there have been some other videos this week, other than Minecraft. And mostly what I've been doing is Ark and TerraTech. And the reason I've been doing that is because I wanted to experiment while I had a little bit of time to see if you guys were enjoying things other than Minecraft, or seeing if this was really the heart of the channel still. And it looks like it is. I mean, it looks like a few people are watching the Ark and TerraTech, but those are the few people who watch all of my videos pretty much no matter what they are. And I do appreciate all of you for doing that. It really means a lot to me that even if a few of you were entertained by these videos, that's still worthwhile for me. But it doesn't look like that's going to be a huge direction change for our channel. And honestly, I just had some time that I wanted to try doing that to see how things would go. And now I know. It's really not going to be a new thing for the channel. Don't worry, Minecraft isn't going anywhere. If you do have or want to see other videos like Ark or TerraTech, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I think those series will probably end up being paused where they are. I will keep playing those games because I like both of them. But I probably won't do any more videos on them, and hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about was live streaming. I've had a couple of people ask me to do more Twitch. I would love to do that. The problem is it seems like I don't want to do things on Twitch that I would normally do in a video, just because some of these projects really would make better videos than they would live streams. And also because I have very few viewers on those live streams compared to what I have on my videos. And if you look at the numbers on my videos, I don't have very impressive views at all. So most of my videos here are only getting about a dozen views at the moment per video, with a few exceptions. And that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, is what kind of videos you guys want to see. It looks like my most popular video ever is actually the first one I ever did, and I've never been able to recapture that glory, the Dragon Skull Nether Portal. It has, I don't know how many tens of thousands of views right now, which is fantastic for me, considering most of my views, like I said, are in the dozens or so at the moment. The other highest video is the Seed Spotlight for Biomes of Plenty, and I think that that one is good, but a lot of people seem to have some confusion about what that Seed Spotlight really is. There's some confusion about how that stuff works with the mod packs, and why don't the seeds look exactly the same. And there's a lot more questions that come with those kind of videos, like how do I get it to look exactly like it does in your video? And the answer to that is install WaffleMods. But those are pretty fun to do. And you'll probably see some more of those too. I'll probably do some vanilla seed spotlights later on when we get closer to the 1.9 release, and see about that and see what you guys think. And of course, Let's Plays, Let's Builds, and tutorials are all probably the best viewed things on my channel at the moment. Let's Plays don't seem to be that popular, and that's what I'm doing while I'm recording this, so how many of you will actually see it? Good question. Anyway, like I said, I want to consider what you guys want to do, so please give me some feedback. I know a lot of you just watch the videos and never put in a comment. Some of you do put in comments, and I do appreciate that. But this time I really could use your help. What is it that draws you to the channel? What keeps you watching? And more importantly, what would keep you more interested? What am I not doing that I could be doing that would make this better for you guys? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, if I'm just playing Minecraft for my own enjoyment, then I wouldn't be recording. I want to make sure it's something you guys enjoy as well. And hopefully you can help me out with that. Okay, so as far as what else is going on, like I said, I recorded a video earlier with the Wither fight, and I just fought two Withers at once, and it was interesting, but it was so laggy that it was really hard to see what was going on. And after that, I decided to investigate, and I was having a lot of block lag. I'd be mining, but stuff wouldn't break, and thankfully I sorted all that out. But part of that experiment was also me trying to record in 1080p 60 FPS, and that it looks like I do have the ability to do that now. However, they take a lot longer to render and to upload, so let me know if you guys think that would be something you'd be interested in. I know there's some other YouTubers that are doing that, and when I first started watching their 60 FPS videos, I really didn't like it. It was so different compared to what I was used to seeing in YouTube. It felt almost, I don't know, almost too smooth for Minecraft. It was a little strange looking. But now that I can actually run a computer that can run Minecraft at that speed and frame rate and definition, it's something I could consider doing if that's what you guys would prefer. So let me know that as well. And then also 1.9. So I mentioned that a couple of times. A recent tweet from Jeb said that they're planning to have 1.9 feature complete by the end of October. And that's only a couple of weeks away. So that's a pretty aggressive timeline. Now what that does not mean, and he was very clear about this in his tweet, it does not mean that everything will be bug-free and ready to launch. So we will not necessarily have 1.9 on Halloween. However, what it does mean is that if it took them a couple of months to sort out all the bugs, we'd still have 1.9 at the end of this year. And I think that's pretty realistic to think that we'll get 1.9 as kind of a Christmas present this time. Maybe we would have that by Thanksgiving, but honestly, the more time they spend whacking bugs, the better. Alright, that last segment was starting to get a little bit rambly, so I cut it a little bit early there. And I think I got across what I wanted to get across, which was that things are going well for Minecraft, and I want to know what you guys want for the channel. That's really the gist of it. So let's go ahead and check off digging out sub-levels. We haven't finished all of that, but we've done enough of that we know where the sub-levels are going to be, and that's the really important part. So now this enhanced charm is going to be our next big goal. And in order to do that, let's take a look at what we have to do. So we need the enhanced charm, and we need the charm of dislocation, which we have. We need some ender pearls, which I'm fairly sure we have. We need some draconium ingots, which I know we can make, and a wyvern core. And the wyvern core requires 4 of these draconic cores and a nether star. And we definitely have the nether stars now because we fought a couple of withers. So do we have enough materials to make 4 of these? Brilliant. Okay, and I think the regular charm, yep, there it is in my bag. Let's put that in here. And let's go back to that enhanced charm of dislocation. We need to make this. Perfect. And then we need to do that. There we go. So now what we can do with this, we can actually put ender pearls in it as fuel. And we have 57 of those at the moment. Let's go ahead and put all those in there. If we right click this, you can see we've got all sorts of different options. So let me look around a little bit. I think what we want to do is keep this room as our main base room. So let's do add new, waffle base, and now we have this bound here. Now what we can do is we can add fuel, and you click once, it'll add 1 ender pearl. If you shift click it, it'll add 16 at a time. So let's go ahead and shift click all of that, and then click off the last of that partial stack, 57 ender pearls. So now what we can do is we can right click, I'm not going to do it here, we can right click from anywhere in any dimension and we'll come right back here. So what we need to do is do a little bit of flying and go set up a few other places on here so we can easily get around the world. Now, we can do this with the nether in the end and all that stuff as well. Oops, let's go out to the top. But I want to start by going to some other folks' bases. And I'm not going to make you watch me do that flight across here. I'm just going to go ahead and set all those, and we'll be right back when I have the other location set. Alright, so now if we shift right click this thing, you can see I've set a bunch of different locations. We have Waffle Base, Torquata, Sonata Block, Spawn Town, all the different locations we've gone to. And we can either right click one of these, like let's right click to teleport to Torquata's base. And no spoilers, that's the side of a castle wall. But you can also hold shift and use your mouse wheel and kind of scroll through where you want to go. And let's say we wanted to go to the end. We can right click and even go between dimensions with a single right click. That is pretty cool. Really, really like this thing, but you can see it does use fuel. And so let's go back up to Waffle Base. And what we want to do is get a few more ender pearls. So let's tick off a couple of endermen. And we're going to come over here and say, hey guys, come and fight us. Yep, over here. Looking right at you. And when we're under this platform, as long as it's only a 2 tall platform, they can't get to us. And they'll just stand here and let us kill them. And with looting 3, we're going to get a ton of pearls pretty quickly this way. And we even have an Enderman soul. Wow, Reaper is really working well for us here. So we are going to make an Enderman trap right away, just like that Wither trap, so we can start farming Enderman. The only difference is going to be we want it to be killed by a drop rather than by the spikes. We don't need them to be player kills to provide Ender Pearls. So, wow, that's really good luck. Let's go ahead and head back to Waffle Base before the Enderman sounds get too loud. And we're going to start on that. Let's just add it to the list here. Enderman Farm. We're going to do that. Now let's check this off as well. Okay, so that's definitely going to be on the list. I've got to do a lot of digging for, I think it's going to be a 40 block drop to kill them. And that's going to be something I'll probably do off camera. Digging a big hole in the ground is not exciting. We could actually use some of this if we really wanted to, like go off to the side and dig straight down next to all those basements. Or we could potentially, I don't think there's anything under here at the moment. Yeah, there's nothing. It just goes up to the end portal and back down. But what we want to do real quick is take a look. Let's go out here. and look at the wither farm because I want to see what we have to do to upgrade that as well while we're out here. So let's fly out this way and see if we can find the center. I think it's this block right here. And where's our magnet, just to be safe? I don't want to have to go down in there for anything. Pop that block off and pop that block off. There we go. Now, if we hold shift, you can see that tier 2 requires a wyvern core, and ignore spawn requirements requires a notch apple, which I'm pretty sure we already did. Yep. So tier 2 is a wyvern core, and tier 3 is an awakened core. Wyvern core is going to be something pretty handy. Oops, I didn't mean to do that just yet. For exactly that reason. Let's get him off of there. Get off there, guy. We want to put one of those on that slab so that they don't spawn up there. Okay, so a wyvern core we're going to need to fly back in here to make, and I think we still have enough draconium to do one more of those, and I think that's going to be a good investment for us because what we really want to do is get more wither skeletons so that we can get more withers, so that we can get more nether stars, and that's going to really help us in the long run with tools and with making more of these spawners. So let's go ahead and do that. Wyvern core, wyvern core. Okay. Wyvern core. And that's another one of these, which is good. We have everything we need except for 4 of these draconic cores. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. And wyvern core. There we go. Let's put all this stuff in there. And we're going to go ahead and throw the mob soul in there for now as well. And while we're at it, let's hold shift right click and we're going to add fuel. And add all those 13 pearls into here. There we go. So a little over a stack. And I know that thing can hold thousands of pearls over time. We're going to get to that later on. But this is really going to help us because at tier 2, you're going to see how much faster these things spawn. Alright. And I want to say it's... Whoop, sorry about that noise. See if we can get that one again. And there it goes. Now it's a tier 2, and we can see we need an awakened core to make it tier 3. We don't have that anytime soon, so let's put that there and that there. And we'll fly over here and see the difference. So once it gets to its next cycle, you should see it spawns more of them. Yep. Oh, and I've got my magnet on, so I'm actually collecting all those things. Let's take that back off, put it in here. Yeah, so you're getting a lot more spawns a lot more quickly here. That's fantastic. That's going to give us more wither skulls, which is going to be more nethers. Withers, yes. For more nether stars. I always get that wrong. So what we need to do next is start thinking about making the wither killer and getting soul sand. The wither killer from Practicalities is fairly expensive. I'm going to need, I think, 8 nether stars. Now I keep getting those backwards. 8 wither stars. Nether stars? I did it again. Yeah, so words. We're going to need 8 of the stars to make the wither killer device, and then we're going to need a bunch of diamonds and obsidian. So yeah, this imbued nether star is 8 of those around a machine core, which is gold and iron, and ender pearl and gold. We can actually do some of this already. I just put all of my ender pearls into the fuel. But you can see once we have 8 of those, that's kind of the long pole in the tent. The rest of these wither blocks are diamond infused obsidian and iron, and we need like a couple of stacks of those anyway to make the exterior of the device. The logic matrix is just diamond and silicon and nether quartz. Yeah, we don't have any of that silicon yet. But we can make all of this stuff. Once we have those 8 nether stars, it's not going to be hard at all. And that machine will automatically create and kill withers if you feed it wither skulls, got it right that time, and soul sand. So we're going to work on the wither skulls now. That's going to be the hardest thing to get. Soul sand, we've got an excavator, we've got the nether. Won't be hard to get that at all. And then we're really going to be floating in loot there. Okay, so, oops, not that one. We're not going to do that just yet. We're going to start on a couple of these things, and we're going to probably work on the basement as well. But the Enderman farm, like I said, I'm going to do in between episodes. Now, 3x ore processing. This is something we can do back at the spawn town, and it's actually fairly easy to get there now that we have this thing as well. And I don't know that we need a whole lot of ore right now, but let me show you what this looks like. If I go to the ore, and let's go ahead and take all of our yellowite, because that's mostly going to, well, let's take a few stacks. And we're going to go to spawn town. And Sonata Block already has 3x set up over here, and what that is basically just a purifying factory which needs oxygen. He's doing that with electrolytic separators under there. And then it goes into crushing, enriching, and smelting. And if we throw this in here, you can see that it goes through and spreads out evenly, and it starts purifying this into pure yellowite clumps. Yellowite clumps get then crushed into dirty yellorium dust, and then that gets put into regular yellorium dust and smelted into bars. So this or is it crushing factory, if you just do crushing, enriching, and smelting, you get 2x. If you add the purifying factory, you get 3x. And then for 4x you need brine, and for 5x you need some other stuff for chemical washers and whatnot. But everything coming out of here is automatically going into the shared network in town. And you can see fuel here is 95,000. It's still putting out plenty of power, but if we check in here, we're a little low on Yellorium. And since we are drawing some of that power for our reactor, or for our, sorry, not for our reactor, for our quantum ring, I don't mind donating some Yellorium to town. And those 3 stacks are going to become 9 stacks of Yellorium bars. So we're going to be just fine on that. And this setup here is something we're going to do at some point in my base as well. But that requires getting into mechanism. You need metallurgic infusers and some other things to do that. That's probably going to be an episode all on its own. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. That one. There we go. Man, that thing is great. This draconic chest is just 2x on its own, but it does require quite a bit of power. You can see if I start it running, let's do a little bit of ore. It's going to be less efficient, so let's just do, I think titanium will work in there. Actually, let's not use titanium, it's pretty valuable. Let's use a little bit of iron gravel ore. There's only 6 of those anyway. We throw that in there, it's going to smelt 5 at a time, and you can see how much power it's drawing. Right away, it's like 1,000 RF a tick just for that. And there you go, we've got iron ingots. So it does work, it's very fast, but draws quite a bit of RF, and that's why I don't mind giving that Yellorium back, because we are pulling it through the reactor here. Okay, so let's see. We're going to work on that, I think, as a separate episode. All 3 of these things will probably be either individual episodes. Actually, Wither Killer I can probably do in between. So next thing we want to do is start these 2 bases, Aether and Nether. I'm going to leave finishing the basement for probably an in-between time too, because I haven't figured out what kind of palette I want to use. So let's take a look and see what kind of blocks we have as well. So Nether base, let's start there. Obviously we have Nether bricks, and we could make a bunch more of these. In fact, I'm pretty sure we can also smelt the Nether rack in the draconic chest. Oops, or I can throw it on the ground. I don't know why it does that sometimes when you double click a stack. There we go. And here you're going to see it's doing 5 at a time and drawing about 1,000 RF a tick. So I think it's 200 RF per tick per slot. And since this is going 5 at a time, it's going to be quite a bit. But we'll come back with that in a minute and get some more nether bricks. We can definitely do that. We can also use quartz. Although quite honestly, quartz in this pack is generally more useful as a component. Let's use marble instead. We got tons of marble here. And we can do lots of that with a chisel. So let's go ahead and go to the nether while that other stuff is cooking up. Let's see, nether base. Alright, there we go. And we're going to need to do some digging here, but that's going to be also fairly easy. Don't care about the rotten flesh. Let's get our hammer out. And a cobalt hammer is going to go through netherrack really quickly. And we got this tool for when we get to those little pieces that get stuck there. That. And we want to go behind here as well, just because we want to put in a little wall behind the portal. Okay, so let's throw... Why aren't we picking that up? Oh, because our inventory's full. Ha! Amazing. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to throw more of that in there. We're going to clear out a big area here, and then I'm going to start laying down the basic foundation that I think I want the base to look like, and I'll get back with you guys here in just a moment again. Alright, so what we've got here is a little bit of marble tiles, and then some arranged marble tiles that have that little border on them. I might actually replace the floor with those arranged marble tiles, and I'm not entirely sure I know what I'm going to do with this yet, so I think I can whack these and change them one at a time into different things. We can probably do a little bit of that. I don't think some of these will... Like, I like the ones that do blend together. So, like, these two look pretty good. And if we do it that way, that might be the better way to go. So we can just kind of come across here and do that. Yeah, I think that's going to be better on the walls. So I'm going to keep doing that here. And if I had a diamond chisel, that would make doing some of this replacement a little bit easier. We're going to go ahead and do out the floor and do a few more walls like this. We'll make the room a little bit bigger, and then I'll work on the hallway out to the main side. And I'll just do some progress updates as we go along. I don't want to give you guys just the whole kind of doing it on camera thing. It's a little bit slow and tedious, and it's not really that interesting. Alright, a little bit of a progress update. We've got the back wall. We extended it up quite a bit above the portal. We're going to decorate this thing in front here. Probably put some more stuff around it. Maybe some more obsidian. We'll see what happens. We got to do the walls and the ceiling. And then this last part here, I think we're going to do with nether brick. So we got enough of that smelting. We'll do like a nether brick portal out here. Or not portal, but... hallway out here, and that'll get us into the nether proper. It'll be really easy to see from the outside as well. So this is very smooth. I don't want to just leave it like this. We'll do some more carving and whatnot. We'll do some decoration, but I'm gonna hollow out all the space we need for the walls and for the ceiling as well. And I could just start building on top of this, but what I want is for this stuff, this texture here, to have that border along the edge. I really like that. So we're gonna keep going, knocking out sections like this all the way up and along, and I'll get back with you guys again when we've got all the walls in. Alright, here's another bit of a progress update. I went back and made myself an obsidian chisel. We put in some anti-blocks in the ceiling, which we're going to work on here shortly, but I like how bright that looks, even though technically it does not emit any light. And then I've started adding in a little bit of detail work here, so you can see we've got some nether brick fences, and we've chiseled out some creeper faces on the sides. This is starting to come together. I think I'm going to leave the floor fairly bland, although I might do a pattern in the middle right from the portal all the way out to here. Actually, let's try that real quick. So let's change that to panel, and we'll do that. What would look good? Just like that, maybe even smooth. We'll see. One of these things is definitely gonna look good. Not really sure which one I want to go with yet. Could do that. Yeah, I really don't know. But I'm gonna play around with this a little bit, and we'll come up with some kind of cool pattern. And I will catch you guys up with another progress update shortly. Alright, we did a little bit of reworking on the roof. I thought the anti-blocks looked a little too bright, and so now what we've done is we've worked in some more nether brick here. I think that looks pretty good with the marble. What we're going to do next is we're going to work, I think we'll probably leave the ceiling alone. It doesn't have to be great. We're not going to look up that often, but we need something to break up these panels, and I think lava is going to be what we go with in these panels here. So we'll do a little bit of lava lighting in each of these stripes, and then we might do a little bit with the floor here, or might call that good. I'm not really sure yet. So we'll do that, and we're also, of course, going to fill that tunnel in with more nether brick. So I'll catch you back up with you guys when I have another update. Alright, so now we have the whole thing done. We have our little tunnel out here with some glowstone so we can really easily see it when we're out and about. If we're flying around, we'll definitely not be able to miss that. We're going to do some more decoration on the front of this. We're going to obviously expand this area. But when we come in here, we've got glass over lava in the floor. We've got some glass in the walls. I thought about maybe connecting these all the way up, but it looked like it was going to be a little too much. And this is really going to do it for now. So that's going to be one more thing off our list. This thing. There we go. To-do list. Start nether base. Awesome. So let's go ahead and go back through here, and we're going to grab some materials and do a similar thing, but probably not quite as big because we don't have a tunnel to build out on the aether base. Alright, so let's put that away, and we'll grab this guy, and what do we want to grab as far as materials in the aether? Now, there's a lot of blues and greens out there. I think some yellows would look good. We could do yellow, sandstone might actually look pretty good out there, and I don't think I have any sandstone. Let's check. Sand. Quicksand, sand, and sand. One of these is milled up sand. Let's go ahead and go back and craft up some sandstone and see what that would look like out there. I think that's going to be pretty good, and it's another chisel texture that we can take advantage of. And speaking of chisels, our obsidian chisel is just about broken, so let's do another one of those. Obsidian chisel. We'll make another one. Take that with us, and let's get some sandstone as well. Sand. Is that 4? I can't remember. Yeah, there we go. So we'll just do a bunch of that. 41 of that. I guess not a bunch for now. Let's go see what this would look like and put that over here. Grab that guy. Oh, there it is. Aether base. Okay, so what we need to do is dig out a little platform kind of around this portal here. And what we're going to do real carefully is just come around here. And we want to go out, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 blocks from this. Yeah, I think we're going to go out at least 3 blocks from this in every direction. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I think that's going to be it. Oh, that's weird. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I think we're going to have to come out one more here. We'll find out in a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and dig all this out and then start placing in some sandstone. That part's easy. We don't have to worry about that. 2, 3, and let's get that going. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. I think what we're going to do is that. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, there we go. That's the one we need. So that can actually go back to being Aether Dirt there. At least for now. And we're going to just build this circle platform out here as our starting area. So that's going to come back down here one, and then out here one. 1, 2, 3. And then these are going to come out 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Man, that sound is very strange from the Aether portal there. What is that? Oh, I think it's because it's multiple musics playing at the same time. And that's it for our sandstone. So we're going to start by extending this out quite a bit more in every direction, and we need to come across one more here, that sort of thing. I'm going to make a big circle out of sandstone. I'm going to have to go harvest some sand and cook, or not cook that, but craft that into sandstone, and we'll do a big ring here, and I'll be right back. Alright, so there's the starting bit of sandstone. I think that's actually going to be pretty good here. It's going to stand out a little bit. It kind of looks like the whatever that is, not quick soil, not quicksand over here. It kind of looks like that. But I think it's going to stand out enough, especially there with our portal in it. And so now what we want to do is just do, I think we want to do some fences around the edges here. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm going to do with this yet. So I'm going to do a little bit more decorating and come back. And we're going to make this bigger at some point, but I want to start kind of a tower. And I know this isn't exactly round. It's kind of hard to do that in Minecraft. And it's really hard to do when it's odd dimensions on one side and even on the other. So it's 4 on one way and 3 on the other side. It's going to be an oval rather than a circle. But I think that's actually going to work. The other option we have is to make this wide enough that it doesn't really matter that it's kind of one. It can be set back to one side or the other and make it an even numbered portal. And we could easily do that just by kind of coming out and saying, all right, well, that's not going to be the center. These two here are going to be the center. And that brings everything over here out by 1. Let's see if we have enough sandstone to do that. So we bring that out by 1. We bring everything out by 1, really. And that way it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 there. And 1, 2, 3, 4 here. That would make this 2. And 2. And then this one will be out a little bit. Is that right? That's not quite right. That would be this one. Yeah, and then this would come in by 2, and then there'd be 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'd be just a little bit short. Yeah, so that's actually a pretty good sized circle there, and that was exactly as much as we had in terms of sandstone. So like I said, I might try that, and we'll build this up as a tower. We'll go up and down a little bit. These zephyrs are kind of annoying, and this concussion creepers took me off. There we go. So I'm going to work on that a little bit, and I'll be back with you guys again shortly. Okay, we've got a little bit more here. We've got some borderless glass panes, which actually have a cool little stripe effect here. We've got some pillars in here now. We got some different kinds of sandstone, and I just carved up some glyph sandstone, and I think we're going to throw those at the top of each of these doorways here. And we are going to make sure that we can get out through each of these areas. Let's do that. That'll carve that out a little bit. It doesn't have to be great, just enough of a little space here. And we can do that on this side and take out a little bit of that. That'll work. And then, of course, on this side... Oh, hey, get out of here, Zephyr. Man, these guys are super annoying. If you didn't have flying over here, I'd definitely be dead. Many times they've blown me off the edge. Okay, there we go. So now we got some glyph sandstone in there. And I think that's probably going to be okay. I don't know that we're really going to put doors on this. Maybe we will. But I think right now we're going to leave that fairly open. And I think we're also going to leave the top open for now. We might come back and do a roof here. We might put in some slabs or something like that on the top of this just to kind of cap it off. But I think that's going to look good enough for now. When we come right through, we're not going to get blown off the platform instantly. And again, just like the nether base, we'll expand this in the future. Primarily, this is actually going to be facing out that way. That's going to be the front. So we may actually come in and wall this all off at some point as well. Actually, you know what? Let's see what that would look like. If we do that, we want to do that with iron bars, maybe? We might have to do that in a little bit. I'm going to play around with that in between episodes. We'll see what we come up with. I might actually use some more of this borderless glass and kind of just seal those areas off as well. But I think we're going to call that good enough for the time being. So we're going to start Aether Base. That's good. And I think we're probably going to call the episode here pretty soon. I don't know that there's a lot more that I want to do in today's episode. Let's go ahead, switch this around, bring that charm back, and we'll go back to Waffle Base. Okay, so I think, like I said, we're going to call it here for today. We've done quite a bit on our progress, and we're going to do a lot more in the next episode. We've definitely got some more things to work on. Let's go back to our to-do list. We do want to finish the basement. I need to find out some textures I want to use for that. We need to get we're going to finish up the Aether base and the nether base. Actually, let's go ahead and take those out, and we'll start changing this around. Let's call this now finish Aether Base and finish Nether Base. We need to take off some of these things that we've cleared out and delete all those as well. We'll start coming up with some other things in here that we want to do. We're going to leave dig out sublevels and say that's not quite done yet because we want to add more. Actually, we'll leave that alone too. This is what we really need to do next, and we're going to fill in some more on the to-do list. We'll keep going. But like I said, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoyed it, then please subscribe. And as always, I've been BrickWaffle. Thank you for watching.